Hi, good afternoon. This is Felix here. Oh, no, sorry. No. Let me start again. I was just joking, fooling you guys. Hi, this is the regular Space Junkie takeover on the What About It channel. We are a Hungarian YouTube channel and we've been asked to contribute with our knowledge to this channel. Not sure how much we can give to you, but we will try our utter best. And I've got David here with me. Good afternoon, good morning. God knows what's that, but hi, David.
Hi, Sabi. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm not Felix either. So, uh, sorry for if somebody is now
Disappointed, yeah.
disappointed,
We
but
only
yeah,
we only joke about this because a lot of people are expecting Felix in this Monday show, but we always disappoint people. But hopefully, you're not gonna be too much disappointed.
yeah, but we try to do our best as always,
Yep.
and we are from Hungary, so if you hear some strange words or pronunciations, then it's because of our Hungarian language.
That's
So
us.
yeah, but yeah, it's
All
Monday
right.
again, so we are back.
Indeed. All right. We're going to cover in this show quite a few topics. But first of all, we definitely would like to cover a little bit of Crew 11 because Crew 11 has been launched to the International Space Station. And the reason why I mentioned this is because we have seen some incredible footages of the International Space Station. This is on the approach, and I think we are looking at it. This is the bottom. Yeah, this is the bottom of the International Space Station. Yes. So because they were
Yeah.
flying around it, yeah, I can see the cupola. This is cupola. So if cupola is visible, it means that we are looking at the belly of it, because the International Space Station is always facing with belly down towards the Earth, and this Dragon, the Crew 11 Dragon, was docking onto the Zenith port, which is facing towards the space, and we can already see another Dragon there. That's Crew 10. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it looks amazing. And as it was flying around it, there's another view of it. This is probably one of my favorites ever because you can see it. They are going kind of above it. I mean, this is incredible. I love it.
Yeah, so the Crew Dragons used to do a quite interesting how to say it last phase of its flying towards the ISS. So it's coming from the bottom, and they are making a 270 degrees turn
Loop.
and loop, yeah, better to say, and then they are coming from above to the ISS. So
Mhm.
they are docking quite to the Zenith port currently, and yeah, it's quite interesting approach.
Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
so
that,
they were docking somewhere
something
here.
like that.
Yeah. My name is Sabi, and some people call me Sabicasso for a reason, not because of my drawing skills. But yeah, let's just forget about that. And there is one very very important aspect of this Crew 11 launch, and it's namely because boosters were flying for the very very last time to landing zone 1,
Hmm.
and yeah, we can say bye bye to landing zone 1 and 2 because they are going to land to another place, right?
Yeah, so these two landing zones were leased by SpaceX from the Air Force, then later from the Space Force, and the lease is over actually. So it was not lengthened anymore, and that's because of a logistic question or logistic reason, because it's quite far away from the launch sites, especially from, for example, 39A, from which the Crew 11 also was launched, and in the future it will be quite interesting because as per the regulations, every each and every launch sites will have its own landing zone. So for example, the 39A will get a landing zone next to the launch site or
Mm-hmm.
the launch complex. The Slick 40 or SLC 40 will get another one, of course, and so on. And yeah, it's quite interesting that one era has ended and another
Mm-hmm.
era will start. And yeah, that was actually the very last landing from a Falcon 9.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will see. I don't know when we will see the first landing to the next or the new landing zone. It has to be built first, of course. And
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, it's the question of the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, Again, sorry if you're disappointed. This is now, it's been a regular show on Mondays, and a lot of people asking for Felix, but we don't have Felix. I'm sorry. On these Monday shows, Felix is never here. He is doing the Tuesdays and Fridays episodes, and he always covers live launches. So I think let's get the feel of it that Mondays mornings, this is us. Um,
And
Again,
there is another thing because maybe some of you remembering the let's say the prediction from Elon Musk that flight 10 will come at 4th of August, which is today actually, but we can assure everybody that it won't be launched.
no,
There won't be
definitely not.
launched today. Okay, so
No.
if somebody just came and just joined because of flight 10, we have to disappoint him or her again that it won't be. So no Starship won't be launched today.
Yep.
And but yeah, these shows are regular from us, so Sabi and from me, David, and it's on every Monday. So hopefully, if somebody just have the first time with us, it won't be the last time, and yeah, you will be satisfied with us and our with our information.
All right, let's crack on because finally a lot has happened. Uh, Finally, action is happening at Starbase. We've been
Yeah,
waiting for it so long. And what's it's been now 47 days, I think. 40
about
plus
that.
days. Yeah,
Mhm.
after
Around 50, yeah.
yeah, after ship 36 has blown up at the Masseys, and right now the action is back. Let's just start with Masseys because at the Masseys site they had a cryogenic test, so a load
Hmm.
test of ship 38. Let me find
Yeah,
it.
so the very last of the second generation ships uh, has started its test campaign, of course, with the regular or yeah usual cryogenic proof test. And what was a bit surprising that it was done only one time, and after one test, at least what we have seen, it was rolled back to the production site. So maybe SpaceX wanted to save some time, but actually S38 has a lot of time to prepare for Flight 11, of course. And the other question, whether it will fly at all, because it's not 100% sure. And I guess it will be based, or a decision will be made after the Flight 10, whether the Flight 11 will be made by S38 and I guess booster 15-2. But we have to, of course, wait for the Flight 10 for now, and we will see how the outcome of the Flight 10 will be. And but that's an option that maybe they don't want to fly any more second generation ships or starships, the entire full stack, because of course maybe if so the with the ship V2, V3 or the third generation ship will come with a third generation booster and generation Raptor engines, so everything will be made changed. So maybe the more data the better, and based on that the flight 11 will be made or will be conducted with this S39 38 and some booster. It's not
Hmm.
100% sure which booster will fly. So yeah, but anyway, the test campaign has started, and it was it was a normal and regular test without any problems.
Yep.
So yeah,
Um,
as I mentioned, yeah, that yeah, okay.
As you can see on on the top left corner from La Padre video, that ship 37 38 testing, because this was 38 was not the only test on that day, and luckily 37 was
Yeah.
doing a lot of tests. Yes.
Yeah, so the S37 had actually two tests, which were quite important, both of them. And on the first day, the static fire was aborted because of some reason. We don't know why, but after the tanking, the tanking was started, and the ship was saved, of course. But on the next day, so on Thursday, right? Yeah, it was on Thursday, if I
I
remember,
think
if
so.
I'm correct.
Hmm.
So the single engine static fire was conducted, and yeah, we can say that it's already regular as well. So we could see some of these tests by the previous starships, of course, except S36 because it was blown up before the first attempt, unfortunately. But it's quite regular. So the first static fire is all the time simulating like an in space
Relight. Hmm.
relight test. So that's why it's a single engine test. And yeah, we could see a quite big plume or yeah, and nothing else. And on the other,
It looks so weird, isn't it?
yeah,
It's just a tiny, but tiny ship instead of a booster, and instead of like a mega big fire from 33 Raptor engines, we see like 6 of them.
yeah, of course, the water deluge system is still still for the
Yep,
33 engines, so it wasn't turned down. Maybe they didn't want to change anything in the system, so it was a bit bit overwhelming, or I don't know how to say, but yeah, that's why it
overkill,
was overkill.
overkill.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
it was just a very big steam cloud.
Yep,
And yeah, actually, it didn't change so much with the six engine static fire, which was conducted on Friday. So yeah, we could see, of course, some of the details. Of course, from above with the drones of the SpaceX, we could see some more
this is actually
details, and
pretty
it's
badass.
yeah, it looked quite nice, of course. And the big
Very.
question was, of course, how these um, how to say these change systems or these modifications, how will they work? And the answer is yes, they worked because nothing wrong happened.
Indeed.
And it was quite nice to see that the SpaceX engineers and technicians could solve this problem quite easily and quite fast, because as Sabi mentioned, the blow up of the ship 36 was almost 50 days ago,
Yep.
and it's a quite short term. Of course, in terms of in terms of any rocket tests. So it's quite nice to see that SpaceX could save so much time. So rather that they would wait until the Masseys is reconstructed, they had this decision to modify the orbital launch mount. And of course, it was a big risk, because if something wrong would happen, then it would have meant that no launch will be happening, not this month, but maybe until end of the year. But with these two quite successful tests, they can turn to the flight 10 and its final preparations. Yeah, we can
This is
see
the one
some.
engine. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the
that's the
one
single
engine
engine
test.
test.
Yep.
And I don't know
Yep.
whether we have some videos from this angle about
I
the
don't.
six engine.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Not from this angle, or at least I'm not aware of it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
No problem. So yeah, summarizing, both tests were done and they were successful. So the engineers gathered nice and lots of data. So of course this ship was rolled back again, or not again, but
What?
as well.
Just let's just wait a bit. So
Okay.
I would like to add that. So what impresses me is that how the whole fire was not the fire suppression, the water deluge system is
Mhm.
designed. I mean, we know that it's hitting from an angle, so it's coming from the bottom, but it's not hitting the engines. That's
Yeah.
we were chatting about this before the show, because so it's I don't know what's the angle, but it's pushing the water outwards, so it's not hitting directly the engines, and how much of a pressure they actually cover, because 33 Raptor engines are very angry when they are on fire, and
Yeah.
they need to dampen the or just lower the power, so of heating the water dilute system, and this just worked incredibly. These footages we saw, I don't know. I cannot emphasize enough how great of a work they've done. And
Mhm.
let's not forget that they are pretty much behind schedule. They have so much to catch up with, and they are still not good, in my opinion. But at least they are doing some um, easing of the delay somehow,
Mhm.
because the 2025 is really not the way it's happening the way they imagined at the beginning of this year. So let's hope that from now on they can pick up the pace and we can see some badass test flights, and they are not wasting time at all.
Mhm.
Indeed,
Yeah.
they
So
just
they
started
are.
this. Yep.
They say, not the engineers, but the rumor has it that SpaceX is about 7 months behind schedule. So or the original plan. So it's a quite long term based on the goals and let's say the the different goals what when they have to
Hmm.
reach. So that's why these 7 months is quite a lot.
Yep.
But now it's again it's a bit brighter. The every day is quite brighter for the SpaceX, and as I mentioned, they can turn and they can focus already on flight 10. And yeah, as you can see on this video, the S-37 has been rolled back to the Mega Bay 2, and it's already preparing for flight 10, which is again it's not today and not tomorrow, but maybe around middle or in the second half of August. So if we are lucky, then we could see in about 2 or 3 weeks the flight time, but it's not sure. Of course, it depends on the preparations, but at least um, in terms of the hardware, everything is tested. So every ground tests were made, and now is the big question: how, for example, the heat shield can be prepared for the flight, and of course different system from outside and from inside as well. And yeah, now we have to be patient and let's see when flight 10 can come.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think you began to cover that. First of all, they started this disconnecting the QD.
Hmm.
So this modification that they built up, because obviously it looks like they are definitely going to go for the test flight first. So these photos from Starship Gazer is actually proving that theory. And if nothing else, this definitely will convince everybody that there is no Ship 38 test firing, static
Nope.
firing for sure, because the ringed wall has been removed and transported back to the Sanchez site.
Yeah, because there were, of course, more options. How would they conduct the static fires of the two remaining Block 2 ships or second generation ships? I mean, 38 and 37 and 38. And one option was that after they are conducting the 37 static fire, they are preparing as fast as possible the 38 as well for the static fire. They are putting on they would put on this already installed ring, and they conduct with the 38 the static fire as well, but it would have taken much more time, as it would take now the time for the preparation of Flight 10, and after it, the rebuild of this strange structure. So actually, the option A remained. I mean, the 37 static fire Flight 10, then 38 static fire and Flight 11. If again the question is whether Flight 11 will be conducted with the last second generation prototypes.
Indeed. Yep. So finally, at least we know what the schedule is, or at least what the plan is for the next couple of weeks. And I think it makes sense. It looked like Ship 38 is really not there yet. And probably they could have it could have taken so much more time to actually prepare in terms of the fitting the engines to Ship 38. So they just decided that instead they're gonna go for this solution. So which is good for us because we're gonna see a launch very soon.
Yes. So if you just imagine, or we think about the test campaign of 37, which was cryo tested end of May, then it means then that the preparation of for the static fire takes still about 2 months, and that's why we are talking about the timeline that if SpaceX would have waiting for now for the static fire and of course the Raptor engine installing for the S38, then it would have taken 2 months, and maybe it would have been much longer as they conduct now the Flight 10, and after it they will rebuild again this MacGyver style uh, I don't know, hardware. So yeah. Anyway, we are not so far from Flight 10, and yeah, these test still in August is quite feasible, at least I think so.
Jonathan is telling us in the back channel that he forgot to tell us that actually rumor has it that it's the 15th. They are targeting with Flight 10. So if that's true, then it means, again, we take it with a grain of salt, that it means that it's 11 days. So that's less than 2 weeks. And to be fair, that's kind of feasible right now, where we are now, because the ring wall is off the pede, so the Olam, and then as we can see, they are pretty heavily working on pede again to remove the addition of the quick disconnects. And if that happens, and obviously ship 37 receives the remaining missing tiles from the heat shield, that's completely feasible, I think.
Yeah, but of course there are, and I don't want to use of course anymore.
Of
There are
course.
there are some other things to do,
Yes.
but yeah, we will see. And yeah, if it's real, then we are on 1.5 weeks far from Flight 10. Then it's quite good. So
Let's hope
hopefully
so.
yeah, let's hope so. And yeah, it would be quite nice if we could see the Flight 10 next week actually.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's that? Let me just check the calendar because I need to double check it. So 15 is next Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be such a relief to see finally a launch because we've been when was the last one? I know I asked a good one, but I can't recall it from the top of my
Beginning
head.
of June, so 2 months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me check.
We've been promised launches on a more frequent basis,
So Starship
but
Flight 9.
yeah, but
Uh,
no one have seen this this incident with ship 36 coming. I always try, but no, actually, I wanted to say that I always try to see the bright side, but that's not really true because sometimes I'm really pessimistic about Starship, the Starship program. But I think if we think about the bright side, I am actually glad that the ship 36 anomaly with the COPV tank came out now
Hmm.
and not like 10 flights later when
Hmm.
it could have caused so much more havoc. So I'm actually glad that this
Hmm.
happened. Not great for the program, but it's really great for the bigger picture. So when
I
was
just
it?
I just checked it, and it was on the 27th of May. So yeah, I was wrong.
Hmm.
But yeah, it almost hit. But yeah, it was
Hit and
more than
miss. Hit and
hit and
miss.
miss. Yeah. So it was a bit more than 2 months, and yeah, it's not ideal, but better than nothing, or
Yep.
better than later.
Well, that's the situation. There's nothing to do about it.
Of course.
That's what it is. On this photo, actually, you can see this extension of the QD, this
Hmm.
extra piping. Is it because the disconnect port on the booster is lower than on the ship, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Uh huh.
That's the reason. So they
Okay.
had to they had to figure out somehow how do they reach that height where the adapter of the ship QD is, and yeah, that's the solution.
Instead of this.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm in a good shape with a good form with drawing today. Also, the other thing that's visible is this grid here. What is it exactly?
It's the
Just
dance floor.
explain. The dance floor. There you go.
That's the nickname of this platform, and that's for the engineers and technicians, how they can reach the bottom side of the OLM ring actually.
Hmm. That's actually pretty cool to see. I really like it. I think I have a good photo of the bottom of the. I supposed to have. Nah, but yeah, there you go. So this bit we are talking about. So this is the engine section,
Hmm.
and when it's on the OLM, there must be a way how they can reach this section. And this is in the early days they used to have like a lifting platform, right? Like
Yeah.
it was slightly different, but when they're doing the engineering and the inspection work, this is when they use the dance floor. Yeah, it's a pretty cool stuff, I think. Okay, what should we talk about? Flight 11, maybe? So
Yeah,
the
why not?
plans after whenever Flight 10 is happening.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's a quite not so big question, but of course a question, which prototype will fly on this flight test. But yeah, if we are, yeah, let's say let's stay on by option A or option one, that ship 38 will be joined by, I think, booster 15-2 or maybe booster 17. It's not decided yet.
Hmm.
So SpaceX is in a good position because they have plenty boosters what they can use, and of course they can decide that they will reuse booster 15 or another brand new booster will be used. So which is which is sure that we have to wait, I guess, until October, about around October, because it will take time to conduct again these static fires, and of course it depends which booster will be joined to the party, because but I think it will be booster 15, they will do the static fire with it again. So yeah, that's a good um,
Infographic.
schematic
Hmm.
about the remaining boosters. And of course, we are talking about the first three. So we don't.
So,
Hmm?
so booster 15 is going now, right?
Nope, it will be
Nope.
booster 16.
Oh, 16. Excuse me. So that's flight 10.
Hmm.
Okay. So it's either this one, right? Booster
Yep.
15 dash 2.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So these are the options for flight 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, there are two more boosters, but booster 19 is in a very infant state. So I can't even see what's existing from it because it looks like
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't understand why it's on actually on this. on this
It doesn't
graphic
exist yet.
because yeah, there are no parts, or at least we haven't seen, or the
Uh-huh.
photographers haven't seen any parts of them or it.
I
So
mean, I mean, ring watchers they always good with seeing things. So I can imagine that they spotted something that's related to booster 19, and otherwise they wouldn't, or is just there because that's
mhm.
the next in line. Good question. But I mean, so 18 is the last. Okay, it's because 18 is the last V2 version, right?
No, it's the first
Or is the
V3.
first V3? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm so
That's why
wrong.
it's not an option for flight 11 if
Right.
it will be flown by S38, because
Uh-huh.
if
Uh-huh.
not, then of course it's a total different story, um, because the boosters and the ships are of course with the same generation, and they are not compatible with each other. I mean, the second
Mm-hmm.
generation boosters are not compatible with a booster or a version or block 3
Mm-hmm.
ships. And of course it it means that the ship version 2 is not compatible with booster version 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's why the generation change will be um, valid for both prototypes, so for the first stage and the second stage as well in the
Mm-hmm.
same time.
Yeah. So once you go V3, you never go back. The way is
That's
the saying is in
true.
a different way, but I converted to the V3 design or generation. So okay, let's assume that the design change has happened. So let's just, because we can't mention this enough. So the Pad B is going to be the place where the V3 versions can be launched. And
Hmm.
once they start doing that, and once V2 is finished, that would be the end of the Pad A, because I mean end
Yeah,
of like being used for in its current state. So from here, once this is ready, and we are really praying that nothing is going to happen with Pad A during flight 10 or flight 11, which I think, I mean, nothing is sure, but the
on
boosters.
flight 11 is it doesn't matter, so they can destroy the entire
Yeah,
OLM.
true. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, at least they can do something in the meantime. Uh, Pad B is being finished, and this is quite a recent photo. We can see that a lot of scaffolding, a lot of parts around. The left hand side of the flame trench is pretty not ready yet. I mean there are some bits on it that's visibly not finished yet here.
Maybe it's already finished while we
Maybe
are talking.
yeah, probably it's been poured already. Yeah, but it just doesn't look finished yet. The
That's for
good
sure.
yeah. The good thing is that they are fitting the QDs,
Hmm.
which is good. And it looks like the cover of the, which I'm not too sure. This is the locks, isn't it?
No, that's for the methane,
The
and
methane, and this is for
at
the locks.
6 o'clock it's for the
Uh-huh.
locks.
Okay, so 4 o'clock methane, 6 o'clock
Hmm.
oxygen. Okay, and I think there was a video that they transported the oxygen QD hood or cover as well. So I think it's on the site as well already.
Yeah, they were transported yesterday or day before
Hmm.
yesterday, or around these days.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's on one hand, of course, when flight 12 can come,
Hmm.
or let's say the first version 3 prototype launch. But on the other hand, the big question mark is around the Raptor 3 engines, because they don't seem quite ready yet.
Hmm.
So it can be that the Pad B or Pad 2 will be ready for a launch, but there won't be any engines at hand, and that's a
Yep,
big problem, or that would be a big problem. And
pretty
but
much.
what we can see, or what we can read from different sources, that the Pad B will be ready at earliest around October, so still 2 months. And maybe until that, the Raptor 3 engines, they can ramp up the testing, the ground testing of the separate engine tests in McGregor. But for now, they have some problems with refirings or
Relighting.
relightings. Yeah. And that's a big problem because, of course, if they want to use them more time, or at least one time, they have to relight it in space at least for one time, because otherwise they can't deorbit the ship, or they can't they can't take back the boosters at all. So that's a big problem, or not a big problem, but that's a problem for now for the SpaceX engineers. But at least if they have the infrastructure for at least for fitting checks, then as it would be good for step one, let's say. And that means that after flight 11, the pad A will be totally destroyed. It will be grounded. And
But we don't know exactly what's gonna happen with it, do we?
yes, but we can assume that it will be totally redesigned, and I think they will dig
No, but I mean
quite.
that's bit for sure. Yeah, the destruction. I mean, we know that. But is it going to be a catch-only tower, or is it going to be another launch pad? That's undecided yet, is it?
Yeah,
Is
but
it?
I think so. It will be a launch tower, and that's another question: how they will reconfigure the tower itself, because they have to redesign or modify it a bit. And of course, there is another question with the chopsticks: whether they will use the same ones, which are longer, as we know, or they will change them for a shorter version. So there are lots of interesting questions, and of course it's all about the timing and how and and when they want to use again the pad A, if they want to use it for launches. But we can assume that they will use pad A as well for launch, because they will need it until the the main the main activity is still at Starbase. Because as far as we know, the Florida site, so I mean the LC-39A, will be ready around one or more than 1 year. So the first launch can come around end of 2026. So again, they don't want to lose even more time, so they will require two launch sites or launch pads for the different tests, at least for the orbital refueling test. That's for sure. They will require for that to at least two, if not three, launch sites.
You know what? More, I think. Okay, before I comment, Craneman was saying Pad B BQD hood for locks is installed too. Thank you for the information.
Good news.
Eric Z or Z says this pad still needs a test article to fit check and run system checks. It could be operational by December if they push hard to make things happen. Okay, that's a good input. Also, what I wanted to mention, yes, the fact that they are actually, so we've seen the plans for Florida, and I can imagine that they want to make sure that Starbase has always at least one operational launch, not facility, but launch pad or launch site. Well, yeah, pads, let's say. So pad B is done, and probably they're gonna start doing the work with pad A. And let's just assume they turn it to pad B as well. So the similar style. I'm not too sure if it's really required. Probably they will do it just to make sure. But I think as we see, Florida is pretty much getting there. On I know the infrastructure for producing starships, so first and second stages is quite not there yet, but they are building the launch site at 39A, and also they will have, not sure when, but they are going to start building other launch facilities at Florida. So I don't know how long Starship will remain like the test site, the R&D test site. Because once let's just
You mean
assume that
Starbase?
Starbase, yeah, sorry. Let's just assume that once they nailing the new version, which they should in like half a year time, then after that it's gonna be moved to Florida anyway. So, and I don't know if they really want to invest into turning Pad A to a launch site, launch pad.
Yeah, but if we are talking about testing, then of course the launchpad it's one hand, it's one thing, but they have to test something. And now another question mark is on the table: how they will, how can they figure out how they will transport actually the first ship and booster down to Florida, because of course, everybody knows that the Giga Bay and the Star Factory won't be ready at least until end of next year. So
Indeed.
that means there won't be any production for any Starship in Florida, at least for 1 year, but maybe more than 1 year. That means that they have to figure out how they can transport at least one pair, so one first stage and one second stage, at least for fit checks to
Yep.
the 39A. Even if they are ready with the pad itself, then it's a big question how they can transport this enormous big at least first stage, because the second stage it's a smaller
A bit
problem, let's
smaller.
say. A bit smaller itself,
Not a
and
lot,
that means
but
that
yeah.
it's a smaller problem. But how they will transport this more than 70-meter tall articles, then
Let me be the
it's hard to
positive one.
imagine.
I think SpaceX sort of accomplished even harder tasks than this. So probably transporting one first stage and second stage to Florida is not a, a ginormous challenge. Probably they just didn't focus on that. But very soon, Pad 39A, LC39A will be ready if they are keeping this pace. Probably end
Mhm.
of this year, right? So why to wait another year and a half for the first production of the first and second stages if they figure out V3 here and they can really ramp up the production, they cannot launch it that often, I think. And fit checks, for instance.
Yeah, but I don't think so that 39A will be ready until end of this year. Rather next quarter, so the first quarter of 2026 at earliest, because they are a bit behind of Pad B. So if we are looking at Pad B and it's still at least 2 or rather 3 months until finishing it, then we can assume that the F39A is at least half a year or a bit more before the finishing.
Um,
So let's say SpaceX has time to decide how to transport the first prototypes to Florida.
yep. Yeah, there's there's a suggestion from Nick. Um, I don't want to butcher your name. About asking what if they launch from Starbase and land in Florida to move vehicles.
That would be interesting.
To be fair, this is SpaceX. I would not be surprised on anything. If the vehicle works, I think if okay, I never thought I'm gonna say this, but probably catching at least a booster is not from a devil idea
But
from the
how do
devil.
they can how will be the trajectory? So
Well,
how
it's kind
can
of in the way.
how can booster reach Florida from the Starbase?
Um, Without the ship, I think.
So it will be launched to the space as well, and
Not to the space,
just
but
flying a
like
couple of thousand
tilting,
kilometers.
tilting a bit, and then that's it. I don't know. I'm not the engineer. I'm just here to.
Me neither. I just can't imagine how a booster could reach Florida from Texas, from the very end, south end of Texas.
I think there were challenges in the past. Why do I feel now that I'm the positive and you're the negative? Come on, where is your optimism?
It's not negativity. It's reality.
Now you see, this is what I used to say about Flight 5, right? And
No,
catching it.
that was pessimist.
No, that was
Yes.
reality because it always had the chance that something goes wrong and it destroys the whole pad, right?
Okay, but but there
And
was
when I said it's reality, you said no, 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 it's
but
just
there was a
pessimism.
capability to reach, and that was the decision of the engineers whether they will perform the catch attempt or not. But that's another question. Even that the booster has the capability to reach Florida, so
Mm.
it's not up to the engineers, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, if you think about it, how the boost. Okay, let's just assume that we think about Falcon 9s, right?
Hmm.
So the boosters are landing on drone ships. So that's like a range of 560 kilometers. So without
A
the
bit
second
more than
stage,
600. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So without the second stage, and here let's be frank, the second stage is a big payload. Why not? And it's the same flying trajectory. Okay, probably they put a nose cone on the top of it for aerodynamics, and it does exactly the same flip maneuver, reaches 100 and whatever kilometers. It goes a bit longer. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if engineer from an engineer's point of view, is it feasible or not? But I think if it's feasible, probably they gonna put it on the table. I don't know. Chet, tell us what you think. I'm
Yeah,
really
of course.
curious.
Who would have thought in advance that we would see a ship itself on the OLM before? So yeah, never say never.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
You.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
Exactly.
trying to explain it's a bit hard to reach Florida even with a booster from
Yeah.
Texas. So yeah.
I don't know which one is harder to put it on a barge and ship it to Florida or fly it. God
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, with the transportation, the biggest problem is that they have to have they have to put how to say, so they have to maintain the pressure inside the tanks in the entire time frame. So that's
Hmm.
the big question: how they can solve this problem? And
Yeah.
of course, I think it will be transported vertically, not sorry, horizontally, and there isn't a barge, or at least maybe a tanker ship which is big enough to put a booster on the top of it.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
for
Absolutely.
for sure it's not us who has to think about or figure out.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah.
And it's our big luck.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Let's see. Tell us, please, what you think. What you think in the chat, but please not in Serbian. Let's do this in English. Let's be kind to each other in English.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the plan for the future, and yeah, let's hope that this is going to unfold in our favor because yeah, 2025 was quite a remarkable year, and it would be nice
And
if
it's not over.
if they would come out on top of these events because yeah, we expected so much more, but this is an R&D project. We know that they do it in a hard way, and I think it's amazing that how SpaceX is doing this in front of everybody's eyes. I mean,
Hmm.
still anybody can travel down to Starbase and see these things for yourself. You are like arm's reach of a distance from the future ships, rockets. We've been there. Sadly, it was just the beginning of the full stacks, and we've seen the 24/7 booster, now ship 24 and booster 7. So it was nowhere near as kind of busy as these days. And I think it still held back a lot. So I think in the next months, hopefully things gonna swing into motion, and finally we're gonna see the long awaited, I don't know, development and evolvement of these Starship programs. Because I mean, just imagine seeing the first one in orbit, flying above you in the night sky and just observing it
Hmm.
and seeing, okay, that's the future traveling just right there. I mean, that's gonna be extremely cool. Can't wait. Just can't wait.
And they have to ramp up actually everything because otherwise Artemis 3 won't be launched not only in middle of 2027 but maybe in middle of 2028 at all. So yeah, they have to catch up the pace and and yeah, again ramp up everything, testing, production, um,
Hmm.
gathering of datas and reaching the milestones because otherwise NASA won't be happy.
Indeed. One more thing we didn't cover. Are they going to attempt to catch the ship?
When?
Flight 10 and Flight 11.
No, no. I don't think so because it would mean that the ship will be in on orbital trajectory and it's out of question. So
Hmm.
this this last Block 2 version or Block 2 ship will be flying on a suborbital trajectory, which means they won't make an orbit, which means they won't be caught. Sorry.
Indeed.
So it's out of question.
Yeah,
It's, put it in simple.
indeed. Indeed. We will be there soon, I think. If, I mean, they're kind of doing, I mean, if you think about it, they're only testing V2 probably because the most important reason for that is the engine relight, testing the engine relight. But they've done that before, so it's nothing that they can't deal with. Probably just to justify the V2 design, because they have not performed a proper sort of re-entry, uh, controlled re-entry and landing with this second generation ship design. So probably that's why they're doing the test with the V2 ships and boosters, because
Mhm.
otherwise they're already obsolete. And obviously the other reason is because the V3s aren't already yet. But it's almost completely unnecessary to do it because they are obsolete, apart from justification of the
Mhm.
V2 sort of re-entry design and heat shield.
Yeah, so the biggest problem is that they don't have any data at all about the heat shield with the
They
second
do
generation.
some, but it was tumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say
So
it's not normal
no,
or
it's
not
not.
optimal.
No, not. So yeah, that's the probably the only reason why they are conducting, and because they have nothing else to do, and Pet B
Mhm.
is not ready for V3. But otherwise, I think they desperately want to move on and just doing something else. Look,
Mhm.
the Mega Bay 2 door is open a bit, so hopefully some photographer is gonna take some cool photos. But I think Ship 37 is out of the way, out of sight, because they moved it to the left side in Mega Bay 2. I think Vixie was posting about it. So you can't see it when the door is open because it's on the left.
Yeah,
So
no
behind the
ships.
wall.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no ships are
Are
in the
visible.
very middle
Hmm.
of the
Okay.
Mega
Okay.
Bay,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, they are working on it. Cool. If you have a couple of questions, I think just shoot it now, because in a couple of minutes we're gonna wrap up this show. Otherwise, thank you guys for being with us. You know, we're kind of 500 people watching on and off, which is very cool. We are very glad. Taking to the fact that none of us is Felix, so so thank you for bearing with us, and of course, don't forget that Felix is always here on Tuesdays and Fridays, bringing you the next and and coolest space news. So definitely just tune in. And if you haven't done, just subscribe, hit the, smash, not just hit, smash the like button, and please show your support because it really goes a long way if you do that. I mean, this is the coolest channel to do that, to actually get your information from Starship. We got
Just
a
one more
yep,
question.
yep, from Jack Smith. You mean?
Yeah.
Jó
If you
napot.
already
It
if
means
you
good
already
day in Hungarian.
say hi, so jó napot in Hungarian, so jó napot. Hello, Jack.
Confidence level of successful next launch. Give me a percentage,
Ooh.
David.
Okay, I'm optimistic as always.
Yay!
100%. Everything will be made.
Yeah. I would put it to 90. 90, and
Hmm.
it's based on Flight 9. Flight 9
Okay.
was performing very well, apart from that leak of some kind that put the whole second stage into a tumble. If that doesn't happen, that they could have had a kind of controlled re-entry, and I hope that they fix that issue, and because we can see that the second generation ship can reach space without falling into pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm 90%
Mm.
positive.
And of course, we don't know yet whether the booster will be caught or not. Maybe
Hmm.
they don't need it at all
Hmm.
because the next generation's booster will come anyway. So they don't require or they don't need to catch a booster because they won't have room for it
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
just store it anyway. Maybe in the rocket garden for some months, but after it they will dismantle anyway with the oldest boosters and
Yep.
ships.
Let's just sum up in 3 sentences. So, what's the plan for the next flights? Flight 10 and Flight 11.
So as we mentioned, it will be a suborbital flight test, and actually it will be the same. So the almost the copy paste of flight 9 or flight 8 or flight 7. So they want to perform finally and hopefully the in-space test. I mean the payload door opening and closing, the Raptor reignition test, and of course the heat shield test with the proper re-entry, hopefully without stumbling. So
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. So actually every eye will be on the second stage, so ship 37, because the booster looks like to performing quite nice, and even if they won't try to catch it with the launch, I hope there won't be any problems. So actually there wasn't any problem with the latest flights, or from the flight to everything was quite smooth based on the booster. Or in terms of the booster, the ship is another story. So that's it's a big question how it will perform.
Yeah, yeah. There was a question regarding to testing the Starlink satellite ejector. So this mechanism, like this pest dispenser,
Yeah.
that they just call it. Yeah, they keep fitting these dummy satellites.
Mhm.
So these satellite-like little payloads into that mechanism. So flight 7, flight 8, flight 9, they all had these, but the door mechanism had some problem. It could open or halfway open, or because
Or
it
just
was,
stuck.
yeah, or just simply because the ship was tumbling. It
Mhm.
cannot eject anything when it's tumbling, so spinning around on its longer axis, I think. So yeah, it's they always tried, but it just never happened. So yeah, I think they're gonna keep on trying because they have nothing to lose, and it's already anyway a suborbital trajectory, so it will re-enter Earth atmosphere no matter what. So yeah, if they can, and if the ship won't spin this time, and if the door will open, that's another question if it will close, but if at least it will open, they will try to spit out some of these Starling dummies.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's hope so. Yeah. And I'm checking the last questions if there are any. You watch all of the live. Yes, we have. I mean, if the question is for us, we broadcasted all of them on our Space Junkie channel, just like Felix did on this channel. But we do it in Hungarian. We have a very large, actually, audience in Hungary, which we are very proud of because we have occasionally thousands of people watching these test
Hmm.
flights, and from a small for a small country like this, it's a cool stuff. But I have to say with a big confidence that I think every country has like a massive followers for this program because this is the best next thing in space flight. So yeah, it's so cool, so cool.
And it's quite rare still that we can see actually the birth of a pretty new rocket.
The most
So
everything, the most
just com
powerful, the
yeah,
largest, the most everything rocket.
yeah,
So yeah, it's
and
pretty
just
cool.
compare SpaceX with Blue Origin. So what a big difference between these two companies. So SpaceX says, okay, here is everything. You can look at it 24/7. And Blue Origin is hiding everything in their hangars. And of course, it's their decision, but it's bad for us because we can't see anything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. One more question at the end. Why not to have two sets of chopsticks on one tower for catches? I think that's just too complicated. There is no point having two sets of, and it wouldn't work. It's yeah, the
Double
whole
chopstick.
system. Yeah. Or like at the same place, a bigger one and a longer one and a shorter one. No, they most likely they don't need it. I mean, they caught so many boosters by now that they see that they can control it with a huge confidence, and it just complicates everything if the chopstick is that long. It's swinging back and forth when you move it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's just yeah, it's no.
and as Eric Z mentioned, yeah, the motors and cable system is designed for only one
Yeah,
chopstick.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Right, thank you. And I think Jack was asking probably our channel is Space Junkie, one word with an IE at the end if you just want to look it out. But otherwise, you are at the right place, to be fair. So this is the place to be when you want to watch launches. So yeah, just stay here. All right. Thank you very much for being with us, and we will be back next week, hopefully without any problem. And yeah, let's just hope that we're gonna see some better news and some certain dates, maybe from the man itself, Mr. Elon Musk. So yeah, we will be here, and we hope that you will be here as well. There's nothing else to say, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. So thanks for being with us, and we see each other next Monday.
Indeed. All right. Have a lovely week and see you next time. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye. Have a nice week.